Thank you for joining us about this exclusive Bursch Travel tour to Germany. With us is David Harper. He is our special guide through this journey, and we're excited to have him. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Jennifer.
So this tour is focusing on Bavaria and Black Forest. Starting in the Black Forest, tell us the highlights that we're going to see there.
Right. Well, to start with, we're staying at a family-run winemaking property. They've perfected their craft over the many years. Also, they come from a hospitality background. The parents of the lady who runs the place also have a hotel there, and we stayed there, and they talked about, oh, how their daughter is married a winemaker, and they have this new property up there on the hill and surrounded by farm and vineyards. And we thought, wow, that sounds good. So we've taken a couple of groups there, and they've loved the location. It's nice to be hosted by a family who love what they do, which is both cooking, taking people into their property and showing them the great products that they make. So that's a good start, is already being in the heart of the Black Forest, known actually for its pretty good wines.
Speaking of wines, we do have a few tastings on the menu for this trip. Tell us a little bit about the winemaking region in the Black Forest.
hmm Yes, they make some pretty good whites, also sparkling wines, but some rather nice bold reds too. And apart from tasting the wines that the property makes, we'll be stopping at another family-run business that have been making schnapps for a long time. I'm talking about berry and fruit distilled after dinner drinks, but they also have been making some sparkling wines, so we'll have an opportunity to hear about that and taste that, and some still wines there too. So as far as the tastings go in the Black Forest, we're pretty well covered. And we have some nice excursions out to small towns there too. One of my favorites is Treeburg. Treeburg is where they make the cuckoo clocks. That's the capital of cuckoo clock making. And that's also where we'll be going into a nice little inn that specializes in the famous Black Forest chocolate and cherry cake. So they'll show us how they make that cake, and we'll get to taste it too.
Wonderful. Speaking of places we visit, a lot of places we visit are off the beaten path, places that are unique to the area, medieval villages, history. We move a little bit into Bavaria from there. And one of our features is staying in Berchtesgaden, which of course was pivotal in World War II history. And you being an expert in this genre, we're excited to have you. And tell us a little bit about the experience that we're going to have there.
Oh, absolutely. Going to Bavaria without visiting Berchtesgaden would be really a shame. Berchtesgaden has been known and well famed long before Hitler made it infamous. So it's nice to stay in that beautiful place with high mountains surrounding us. The Bavarian Alps, the Berchtesgaden Alps are well known. It's also famous for its salt mines and the very pretty town center, which is about 900 years old. We'll have a chance to visit that, tour that too. But yes, the Eagle's Nest is way up high on the top of a 6,000-foot high mountain. Hitler never actually lived at the Eagle's Nest, but the building called the Eagle's Nest was used for representational purposes to show the monumentality of Third Reich architecture. So we'll be taking a special mountain bus followed by the original brass-lined elevator up through the mountain into the building, have a chance to talk about the history of that building. But we'll also go to the spot further down that same mountain where Hitler's home and headquarters once stood. It's only a ruin today, but that's where world history was made. Of course, Berchtesgaden is a good base too to take a day trip over to Salzburg in Austria. So we'll be spending a few hours there, have an opportunity to explore that town, which is very easily covered on foot. It's like an open air museum, but everything within a very, very small, concentrated geographic space.
Wonderful. One of the other items that we always like to uh, let people know is the size of our group and the pace of our group. The tours that we create together are generally small groups with a slower pace and really getting into the heart of the regions and meeting the locals and having local experiences. So that's always a highlight for our tours as well.
Absolutely. And speaking of local experiences in Berchtesgaden, it's a place that carries on, maintains old traditions. And so we'll have an opportunity to hear the very typical Berchtesgaden and Bavarian music, folklore, see um, their traditional dress on the occasion of a musical evening there, a kind of a show of traditional dances there too. Um, Other traditional fests or feasts, shall we say, is the one in Stuttgart, which is actually world famous now. When one thinks about a beer fest in Germany, we think, oh, Oktoberfest in Munich. But just behind that, as far as numbers of people and its fame in Germany, is the one in Stuttgart. So we'll be actually visiting that and enjoying those festivities and good cheer and good beer. And not too far from there, of course, we're also staying in what is considered to be Germany's prettiest town, and that is Rothenburg. Uh, some people call it Rothenburg if you don't know what I'm talking about, but that's a perfect medieval town with a fortified walls around it, and it's a wonderful place to just get lost in history and enjoy the shopping and the great food and the wines produced in that area too.
It sounds amazing. I know some of our participants are always looking forward to good shopping, and I've heard that it's very good there. So
Yep, it certainly is. I'm looking forward to the trip. I think it's all rounded. There's a good balance of foods and different beverages and local traditions and just very authentic places, many of them fairly unknown, especially in the Black Forest. So I hope that everybody will enjoy this program.
well, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Good to be
And if
here
you,
and looking forward to seeing you soon.
yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Bye, Jennifer.